so oppressed. Oppressed, you say, I do not think that you know what that means. Before you go, let's take a trip with my new time machine. With it, I turn the clock back to 1944. We rushed right out onto the beach in the middle of the war. He screamed and ran for cover as the bombs and bullets flew. I pointed to an army man and said, that looks like you. I guess that we could stay here, so could hold the line. Just wear a helmet, wave a gun, I bet you'll be just fine. He shook his head and waved his hands, I think we should go back. I'd rather mow 1,000 lawns than fight through one attack. It took my son a few more months to raise a new complaint. He found our family curfew rules unreasonable and quaint. I fired up my rod again to help him see at last. His life has been a picnic compared to what has passed. This time I turned the dial to 1822. We stood within a factory with far too much to do. Your shift begins at sunrise and lasts throughout the day. You may not keep your fingers, but you'll get a little pay. There might be toxic chemicals or corners filled with rats. You literally could lose your head or fall into the vats. He shook his head and waved his hands, I'd like to run away. I'd rather never leave the house than work here just one day. Didn't grumble for a year, no matter what the chore. But just to drive the message home, I took him out once more. I let him choose the final trip. He thought and said, I know. He grasped and turned the dials as far as they would go. This time we found the two of us in 2083. He saw an old man with a smile and shouted out, that's me. He stood there with his loving wife and his own flying car. It floated by his future house, he said, I've come so far. I never would have gotten this without a lot of work. His future self then waved at us and said, don't be a jerk. Your daddy knows a thing or two, so listen up and learn. Success is not a thing you find, it's something that you earn. And since that day, my grateful son has always been so pleasant. It only took a trip or two to make him love the present.